So what we typically do is go into the holes left open by the looters and try to find something that they didn't find.
In a search for answers, archaeologists have unearthed the Mayan tomb that has remained untouched for centuries. As they cautiously enter the mysterious burial site, experts are left dumbfounded by what they find inside. Could this be the missing link that could solve the mysteries of Mayan civilization? Join us as we unravel the details behind this discovery. The silent room beneath the stone. Underneath the old site of Chokitam, a tomb was uncovered after being hidden for many years. Inside the tomb, instead of just bones or valuable items, there was a complete story told through carefully placed objects that had been waiting to be heard for centuries. The tomb had been closed off for hundreds of years, and when it was opened, the air felt heavy and stagnant, as though it had been holding on to the past. Everyone's attention was immediately caught by a shiny green jade mask in the tomb. The mask was made from small jade pieces put together like a puzzle and came from the Muga River Valley, highlighting its worth. Unlike a regular mask, it resembled a storm god from Maya mythology, symbolizing protection, blessings, and power. Essentially, it served as a crown, shield, and prayer combined. Just below the mask were human leg bones, specifically femurs, that had tiny Maya letters carved on them. These letters were not random, but told a story. The name Itsam Kokage Balam, an ancient ruler, was mentioned. These bones were not just remains, but were like written records that contained titles, names, and connections to a royal lineage that once governed powerful cities. Bright, rare spondylus shells were placed next to the buried ruler. These shells were highly valued in the ancient Maya world because of their shiny red-orange color. They were used as currency or symbols of high status. The presence of these shells in the tomb indicated the immense wealth and power of the ruler. They were not local shells but came from coastal waters, suggesting that people traveled long distances to acquire them. It is likely that these shells were obtained through an extensive trade network that spanned across vast distances in the ancient Maya civilization. Ceramic pots were discovered in a neat line on a shelf. He talks about discovering the pots. These pots were not just decorative but used to hold drinks, possibly fermented chocolate, a beverage often found in other Maya tombs. The pots were adorned with simple designs, suggesting a deeper ceremonial significance due to their orderly arrangement. Every item in the tomb appeared to have a purpose, including the intentional placement of the mask above the carved bone. This arrangement likely symbolized a profound connection between the ruler's identity and the gods. Other bones also had little carvings. Even though they did not have complete names, they suggested connections to family members, possibly ancestors of the individual laid to rest. This practice was prevalent in other Maya royal tombs as well. But what is the mystery behind this tomb and why was it hidden for centuries? The tomb that time forgot. In the beginning of 2022, a remote part of the jungle in Guatemala's Petén region became the focus of the world. In the thick forest near the lesser-known site of Chokitam, archaeologists discovered something unusual while examining LIDAR maps. This technology uses laser pulses to scan the ground from above and reveal a detailed outline hidden beneath the dense tree canopy, indicating something that seemed too precise to be natural. Francisco Estradabelli and his team moved fast. They looked at the digital maps and then went into the forest to see it in person. What they discovered was interesting. A stepped structure mostly covered by vines and dirt. While inspecting it, they spotted a narrow tunnel on one side. Thieves had made this tunnel many years ago. Fortunately, they had only progressed a short distance before quitting. At the end of their tunnel was a sealed stone chamber, completely intact. The group started digging slowly in the old pyramid. They finally made their way to the entrance of a burial chamber after a few days. The ceiling of the chamber was partially caved in, but the items inside were mostly unharmed. Despite some damage from time and the elements, the valuable items in the tomb were still intact and waiting to be discovered. In the chamber, the archaeologists found a remarkable assortment of items. They were immediately drawn to a damaged jade mask that had been put back together. The shiny green mask stood out from the layers of dust. It was thought to possibly depict a storm deity, a significant figure in Maya religion. Alongside the mask were thigh bones that appeared to have belonged to a person, each intricately engraved with small hieroglyphs. These carvings appeared to hint at a royal ancestry of kings and forefathers who had been forgotten over time. From the writings, a name emerged, Itzamkuk-Balam, potentially the ruler laid to rest in this secret tomb. However, that was only the start. The pottery containers were positioned around the body with their decorations in pristine condition. Spondylus shells, which were highly prized in ancient times, were neatly arranged. Every object appeared to have been placed thoughtfully in a particular arrangement. This was more than just a burial, it was a ritual, a ceremony, a passage to the next life. No one saw the unexpected turn of events coming. The researchers found something strange as they explored deeper into the chamber. It was so unusual that even the most experienced team members were quiet in surprise. They did not know exactly what it was yet, but one thing was certain. It was unlike anything they had seen before. They wondered if it could be a mistake, a new type of offering, or a clue to a mysterious chapter in Maya history. The findings brought up more questions than they provided answers for. People started wondering about the true identity of this king. Could he have belonged to a dynasty that has been forgotten? Maybe history had hidden more than just his remains? The anticipation and interest increased, but so did the sense of uncertainty. While the tomb and its treasures were breathtaking, one question remained. How had the team even found this place, lost beneath centuries of jungle growth? The map that saw through the jungle. The team found the jungle with the help of a technology called LiDAR, which stands for Light Detection and Ranging. This advanced scanning technique enables archaeologists to view the ground under trees using lasers from planes. In places like Petan, where plant growth is dense and ancient ruins are hard to spot, LiDAR can uncover structures that are impossible to see on foot. This is how they discovered a hidden pyramid near Chokitam, guided by the peculiar shapes detected in the scan. Upon arrival, the team understood the importance of acting quickly, yet cautiously, due to looters attempting to break in. They took careful measures to avoid causing damage to any valuable items. Instead of using shovels, they opted for brushes and took their time. Every detail was meticulously documented using scanners and cameras, with 3D models created to ensure a lasting digital record of their discoveries. All the hard work paid off when they uncovered more of the tomb. Different patterns started to become visible. They found a jade mask, carved bones, shells, and ceramics all carefully arranged in a specific order. Each item revealed something new about the purpose of the tomb. These items were not just gifts for the deceased, they represented power, faith, and history. Each object had its significance, and together they told the story of a royal family that had been forgotten for centuries. The tomb's architecture followed typical Maya customs, with some differences suggesting that King Itzamkuk-Balam may not have been the sole ruler. There is a possibility that his dynasty was brief or purposely removed from history by his enemies, leaving only his tomb as evidence of the true story. Even though they were excited, the team remained concentrated. They understood that making incorrect assumptions could give false information to the public. All artifacts found were listed. The exact location of each artifact was also documented. They saw the site as more than just a place to excavate. It was a glimpse into a world that few had experienced. As time went by and the excavation progressed, more of the tomb became visible. With each new section uncovered, there was increased anticipation and a growing number of unresolved mysteries. Beneath the jungle, in the heart of the rainforest where Guatemala, Mexico, and Belize come together, there was a hidden secret waiting to be discovered. This area, full of ancient ruins and mystery, held many untold tales hidden beneath overgrown vines and eerie quietness. Known as Chokitam, this place had always captured the interest of explorers. Researchers had long suspected the presence of something extraordinary, but their efforts to uncover it were constantly thwarted by the thick vegetation and inadequate tools. In the past, people used old maps and basic digging to study the land, but they missed a lot of important information. Looters also came in, creating tunnels underground and taking valuable items. Despite this, there were still many hidden secrets in the jungle. LiDAR technology completely changed everything. It involved using lasers from an airplane to see through trees and map the ground. This essentially gave archaeologists the ability to see underground with X-ray vision. The LiDAR images revealed shapes like lines, corners, and walls hidden beneath the forest floor, slowly uncovering a forgotten world. Professor Francisco Estrada from Tain University was in charge of the new research team. He had a lot of experience and a passion for Maya history, which helped him know what to search for. The team made an interesting discovery on the digital map, a mysterious bump in the land. Upon reaching the site, they discovered that the bump was a blocked entrance to a tomb. Surprisingly, the tomb had been partially opened by looters in the past, but they were unable to proceed further due to a collapsed tunnel blocking the way. The tomb remained untouched. The team started digging using delicate tools and being careful not to make noise. They used brushes and small trowels for excavation. Each item found was meticulously documented. The tomb was discovered with stone walls made of limestone from the area. Now let's take a look at the lost ruler of the Maya. Who was he and what impact did he have? A window into a powerful past. The tomb had been closed for more than 1,600 years. Buried far below the surface, it protected its mysteries during years of quiet. However, researchers have uncovered it now, and the discoveries are challenging our understanding of the Maya civilization. The tomb's age has been determined to be around 350 CE using radiocarbon dating. During this period, powerful Maya cities such as Tikal, Palenque, and Calakmul were flourishing. These cities were ruled by kings, priests, had armies, and were home to artists. They constructed massive pyramids, created stone monuments, and governed with intricate laws and strong spiritual convictions. He talks about the pyramids. The tomb aligns perfectly with this impressive narrative. The burial chamber contained evidence of a royal leader's authority. Among the items found were engraved bones, a stunning jade mask, and ceremonial objects arranged in a particular way. These artifacts were not just for show, but held significance. They conveyed narratives and unveiled the possible connection to a prominent royal dynasty. One name emerged, Itsam Kokaj Baklam. This name has provided new opportunities for researchers. It implies that this leader may have connections to other well-known dynasties in the Maya world. The bone carving seemed familiar and resembled the styles seen in locations such as Tikal, where families governed through bloodlines, marriages, and military strength. In the Maya society, rulers did not only lead with armies, but also through narratives of the past. Their authority was based on their lineage. They believed their divine right to rule came from the gods, and to demonstrate this, they filled tombs with symbols of this sacred link. This tomb could possibly be of a ruler with a family that had influence across different regions. Some evidence suggests a connection to Teotihuacan, a strong city in central Mexico. If this is accurate, the individual was not only a local leader but possibly part of a larger political network that linked cities through various means. But what secrets did this tomb reveal? Keep on watching to find out more. The tomb speaks. As the team continued their exploration, the tomb revealed its secrets through its layout, construction materials, and valuable objects stored inside. This burial site stood out from others found among the Maya due to its distinctive design. The burial chamber had been rapidly sealed off with a stone wall, indicating that there may have been political turmoil during that period. It is possible that the ruler passed away during a time of crisis, leading to the hasty sealing of the tomb. Despite the urgency of the situation, the elaborate measures taken to protect the tomb suggest that the person buried there held great significance. Inside the room, they discovered a jade mask with detailed carvings. The bones had markings as well, with Maya glyphs that revealed bits of a story. Also present were fragile ceramic pots, sharp obsidian blades, and jewelry crafted from shell and stone. The arrangement of the items indicated a ritual rather than disorder. Each object held significance. The tomb was determined through early testing to be from around 350 CE, which was during the ancient Maya period. This era was characterized by the rule of kings and powerful city-states, with a close connection between religion and politics. The Maya viewed death as a transition to another world, rather than a finality. The tombs were constructed to help the rulers journey into the afterlife, and were filled with symbols representing power, spirit, and memory. The team collaborated with specialists from various countries. Some experts concentrated on deciphering writings and symbols, while others examined ancient pottery and metals. Samples were analyzed in laboratories in Guatemala, the US, and Europe. Gradually, the mystery surrounding the unidentified ruler started to unravel. Certain findings suggested connections to well-known cities like Tikal and Teotihuacan. Is it possible that he played a significant role as a mediator between these powerful civilizations? LiDAR technology not only helped discover the tomb, but also uncovered nearby platforms that may have been used for ceremonies and other burial sites hidden under the forest floor. The researchers were not just revealing one story with this technology, they were gaining insight into a network of lives, rituals, and forgotten history. Perhaps the most stunning aspect was that the jungle remained largely undisturbed. The lasers enabled researchers to observe without causing any damage. There was no need to chop down trees or harm any roots. It was a careful approach to archaeology. The findings at Chokitam have motivated additional expeditions in the area. The forest has numerous hidden mysteries. By using appropriate equipment and showing reverence, these secrets can be uncovered. This burial place was not just a simple underground room, but a communication from long ago, a faint message from history, an indication that despite a millennium passing, the ancient Maya's voices can still be heard echoing through the trees, eager to be listened to. However, more items were found in the tomb, and these weren't just ordinary objects. They held a deeper significance, symbols of eternity. The tomb stands out not only because of how old it is or its link to well-known Maya families. What makes it unique is how everything inside was organized. Each item was carefully positioned and had a specific function. The Maya believed in an afterlife resembling their earthly world, so rulers were buried with items like food, drink, protection, and symbols of authority. Ceramic containers discovered in the tomb were likely used for special drinks. Spondylus shells, which were bright red and not commonly found, symbolized wealth. These items weren't just given as gifts, they were seen as instruments for the afterlife, indicating that the ruler would still have authority even in death. These beliefs are still present in contemporary Maya traditions, where families give presents to their deceased relatives in hopes of receiving guidance and blessings. However, the tomb had a greater significance than just honoring an individual. It also served as a symbol of the power of an entire royal lineage. In Maya society, royal tombs were often seen as symbols of political power, emphasizing that their leaders were appointed by the gods. The more elaborate the burial, the more divine the ruler appeared to their people. This tomb was impressive, especially the jade mask. It was intricately carved and shiny green in color. The mask possibly symbolized a storm god, linking the ruler to strong natural powers. According to Maya beliefs, rulers were viewed as more than just human. They were considered as intermediaries between the earthly world and the heavens. As a result, they had duties that went beyond governing and waging wars, such as ensuring rain, crops, and the sunrise daily. Hieroglyphs engraved on bones shared meaningful stories. They were more than mere names, revealing a connection between the ruler and the gods. These inscriptions illustrated that the individual was part of a grand cosmic scheme that extended beyond the tomb. Due to the undisturbed state of the tomb, everything remained intact as intended. This exceptional level of preservation provides special insights into the practices of Maya royal burials. Archaeologists are thrilled about the new tomb discovery because it provides missing information. The tomb reveals connections between various Maya cities and families. Royal tombs in Palenque and Chichen Itza have shown some similar customs in the past. However, this newly discovered tomb is complete and rich in symbolism, offering a fresh perspective. In addition, it questions traditional beliefs. Historically, researchers thought that Maya city-states were very independent. However, this tomb indicates otherwise. It proposes that cities collaborated more than previously assumed, exchanging symbols, concepts, and leaders. It portrays a world that was interconnected, with power shifting in various ways. Every object found in this tomb, such as shells, masks, and carved bones, contributes to a bigger picture. Scientists are re-examining other artifacts with a new perspective. Objects previously not fully understood may now be reinterpreted. This new discovery could help unravel the mysteries of how the Maya constructed and sustained their extensive empires. The task is not yet complete. Researchers are still examining each aspect. They are looking closely at the carvings, soil, paint, and even the air that had been sealed inside for hundreds of years. But what stories did the Jade Tomb tell? Let's find out. Whispers from the Jade Tomb. The tomb was constructed beneath a pyramid that had collapsed somewhat over the years. Despite the damage caused by nature, the important contents inside remained unharmed. Some stones had fallen in a manner that created barriers around delicate objects, safeguarding them. Dust had settled over everything like a protective layer, keeping even the tiniest features intact. The room had a soothing and harmonious shape. Each item had a designated spot within the space. The entire area was designed to resemble Maya ceremonial structures located in major urban centers. The focus was not solely on aesthetics, but also on symbolism. Some of the important findings were the brief hieroglyphics etched on the bones. These symbols narrated a story that was concise but impactful. One section indicated that the individual had transcended humanity and entered the domain of the gods. The jade mask, embellished with a design of a storm god, reinforced this idea. It likely symbolized a deity that the ruler sought for support and safeguard in the afterlife. Maya writing experts began to analyze these texts alongside records from other cities. They noticed signs suggesting connections between this tomb and strong alliances across Mesoamerica. The relationships between cities such as Teotihuacan and Tecali started to become clear through a small number of carved symbols. The pots provided additional information. Their plain appearance indicated that they were made in the nearby area by local people following traditional methods. When examined, remnants of cacao and maize were discovered inside them. This indicated that these pots were used for special beverages, probably meant for the deceased ruler to consume in the afterlife. This discovery aligned with similar findings in other royal tombs and supported the notion that this tomb served a purpose beyond just burial. It was about equipping the deceased for their journey. The spondylus shells carried a unique tale. They were not from the same area as the tomb, indicating that they were traded from afar. This suggested that people journeyed long distances to include them in the burial, showcasing the ruler's riches, influence, and widespread connections. Aside from being symbols of status, the shells held significance in Maya culture. According to Maya beliefs, they served as a bridge between the ocean and the afterlife. By placing the shells in the tomb, it was akin to unlocking the door to another dimension. Each item in the tomb conveyed a specific aspect of a larger message. The jade mask symbolized the person's rule with assistance from the gods. The bones indicated their royal lineage and connection to the divine. The pots and shells represented provisions and power for the ruler in the afterlife. When combined, these objects formed a cohesive narrative, crafted meticulously without the use of language. The individual in this tomb was not just an average person, but a king and a respected leader. He talks about locating the tomb of the king. In life, he had a significant impact on the world, and in death, he was believed to have ascended to the heavens. The way he was buried showed great respect, care, and beliefs. The Maya did not bury him quietly. Instead, they filled his tomb with artifacts that symbolized power, memories, and eternal honor. The archaeologists handled each object carefully. They took measurements and photos of everything. They made sure to record every detail. Each object was assigned a number and name. This would allow future researchers to analyze them, come up with new inquiries, and preserve the history. A new chapter in Maya history. The finding of a perfectly preserved tomb is a thrilling moment in Maya archaeology. This tomb, which has been hidden for centuries, has stayed in pristine condition since it was sealed. Now, researchers are able to study artifacts in their original positions just as they were left. This unique chance allows archaeologists to gain insight into royal life without the interference or chaos from future disturbances. Everything from bones to pottery has been well protected inside the tomb. The latest technology is being used to examine each item. DNA analysis and material studies are already underway to determine the origins of the objects and possibly uncover the royal family's ancestry. Specialists in Maya writing are also analyzing the bone inscriptions. Original findings indicate that the writings may involve ancestor worship and intricate religious practices. Deciphering them completely could unveil forgotten information about this royal lineage. One of the most interesting discoveries is the organic materials found. Inside ceramic pots, remnants of ancient beverages were discovered. Researchers will examine these leftovers to uncover the ingredients used, some of which may be unfamiliar. These discoveries could provide insight into the rituals and daily practices of the elite. Each new detail contributes to a broader understanding of Maya beliefs, power structures, and trade routes. However, this is only the start of the exploration. The team intends to investigate the surrounding areas with the goal of uncovering additional structures or tombs that may be connected to the one already found. The discovery of more royal burials would imply that this location was previously a significant hub of authority. Experts from various disciplines such as geology, chemistry, and art history are currently collaborating. Through the integration of their expertise, they are developing a more comprehensive understanding of the lifestyles, governance, and religious practices of ancient Maya rulers. This tomb is significant because it hasn't been robbed or harmed. Other tombs in the area have been looted, losing their historical importance. In comparison, this tomb provides a clear insight into ancient ceremonial practices. He talks about the tomb. This level of preservation is rare and helpful for researchers studying the original environment. It establishes a new benchmark for excavation practices in the Maya Biosphere Reserve. Every object, sculpture, and aspect of the tomb's layout is being thoroughly examined. The aim is to find hints about political relationships, trading paths, and religious beliefs. Digital technology is being utilized by the team to document everything. The information recorded is being included in an expanding database that analyzes discoveries in various Maya cities. Eventually, this will aid researchers in comprehending how royal customs were spread or altered throughout the Maya civilization. It is evident that this tomb is not a standalone discovery. It is part of a bigger picture of ancient culture and connections. Due to this finding, new studies and research projects are being organized. This uncovering is influencing the direction of Maya archaeology, demonstrating how modern science can revive the past. The researchers are getting ready to share their work in academic journals and conferences with detailed reports. Their findings will aid in guiding new studies and attracting more attention and resources to Maya heritage. As additional tests are finished and more ground is uncovered, the narrative of this royal tomb will continue to expand. It will not just recount the story of one leader's burial place, but also illuminate the origins of Maya civilization. Secrets beyond the tomb. Archaeologists found some interesting discoveries near the main room of the tomb which added new details to the story of Chokitam. They found a cluster of small stone markers in one spot which were colored with red ochre. This pigment was not used for writing but was probably used to mark a special area, possibly a sacred boundary for offerings or ceremonies. Close by, there was a slim stone-lined path that ran along the edge of the tomb. Examinations of the soil indicated that there were elevated amounts of phosphorus and nitrogen which were not present in the nearby area. This implies that there could have been ceremonial gatherings or unique planting done to commemorate the deceased. Tiny fragments of shattered shells were discovered in the soil. These were different from the shells inside the tomb and could have originated from distant lands, indicating the presence of long-distance trade during the rituals conducted at this site. Additionally, researchers also unearthed scorched feathers, likely from indigenous birds. These feathers were collected in a single location near a collapsed wall, potentially representing air or fertility in the Maya culture. In a different location, some basic clay tokens were found underground. These tokens had small symbols on them and could have been used in basic community rituals or created by villagers for royal events. Near the stone markers, researchers also found ancient tree roots. These roots may have come from a tree that was once considered sacred and believed to connect the heavens and the earth. The silent evidence suggests that the tomb was not only meant for royal individuals, but also served as part of a bigger sacred area where people, nature, and spirituality intertwined. The findings provide a more detailed understanding of life at Chokitam, where powerful leaders and common people participated in significant and enduring customs. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.